This is very much a story of people being overlooked, beaten down, and in the end, finding a way to rise to the top. They are future Hall of Famers, key playmakers.
Tom Brady, good kick up into the air.
Their heroics on the field sent their teams to the Super Bowl.
Chris Matthews.
And they all have one thing in common. In the beginning, no one was convinced they could cut it in the NFL.
What is that like when somebody says, "Nah, we don't want you"?
I think it's definitely motivating. I mean, you know, that's part of the game is trying to prove your doubters wrong, trying to play with the chip on your shoulder.
Patriots fullback James Devlin, who scored a touchdown in the AFC Championship game, was completely ignored by NFL teams after college. Undrafted, the Patriots finally signed him to the practice squad. Devlin took the opportunity and ran with it. His story is more common than you can imagine, especially with the two teams that will square off on Sunday. In Seattle's dramatic victory over Green Bay, undrafted players made some of the Seahawks' most pivotal plays.
Toward the end zone.
Including Jermaine Kearse with the game-winning touchdown.
Seattle's going to the Super Bowl. Jermaine Kearse.
What is it in you that just got overlooked?
You can't measure the heart of a player or the determination or the motivation of a player, I think. So, you can't grade that.
And those stars who were drafted started at the bottom of the heap. Considered slow and skinny out of Michigan, future Hall of Famer Tom Brady was the 199th pick in the 2000 draft. 6 quarterbacks, some you've never heard of, went ahead of him. That memory, which Brady discussed in a documentary 11 years later, was hard to take.
It was just a tough day, you know. I just remember being there with my mom and dad. Sorry about that.
That's a feeling 4-time Pro Bowler Arian Foster, undrafted in 2009, knows well.
I had my pillow, I was just crying, and it was just
Were you crying?
Oh yeah, I cried. I shed some tears because this is a dream of yours since I was 7 years old.
Coming out of the University of Tennessee, Foster also was considered small and slow. After the draft, the Houston Texans gave him a shot on their practice squad. 2 seasons later, Foster was the leading rusher in the league.
I'm not the biggest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the strongest running back in the NFL, but I work extremely hard, which is why I've lasted so many years and why I've been, kind of the upper echelon of running backs in the NFL, because I work my ass off, excuse my language.
We asked Brady what makes the difference.
Everyone has a lot of hope and a lot of promise when they start their career, but it's also, you got to earn it, and it's a big commitment that it takes to do that.
NFL teams spend millions on scouting, evaluating players, going over stats, size, and speed, but they often get it wrong.
You always have a tendency to choose talent over everything. And this is where you have to be careful because sometimes the best talent will also be the biggest mistake.
Pat Rule is an assistant offensive line coach for the Seahawks.
The first thing that defines everybody's talent. And then after talent, you're looking for that magic piece of that guy's heart that makes him different. And
it's in here.
Yes, that's right. And we have to find that.
Sometimes teams don't immediately know how right they were. In 2011, the Seahawks used the 154th pick in the draft to select an unheralded player out of Stanford. 2 years later, Richard Sherman was leading the NFL in interceptions. For all these overlooked, underappreciated players, rejection drove them to prove their doubters wrong. They knew they had game.
I believed it 100%. And there were still people telling me that I couldn't do it. And I just wanted to prove them wrong. And you know what? I did. I did.